It's impossible. We have all those key figures within our communities at large, whether they're Nuer, they're Denka, they're Shilluk, they're Petit, they're Belenda. We have those cattle who can lead and who can oversee an institution. But because they are set in the tribal line where this young lady come about, where she said we are superior, that's where it is. It's because of this infrastructure, or because of this they set up the institutions, where everybody in the top is coming from one community. So basically, we're setting you. Maybe a few are not teaching that we should be dominant. This is our government. Let's protect it. Everybody should be behind us. The sooner they try to rise, we're going to bring them down. If that's what you're teaching your kids, then we got a long way to go as a country. Because when we come here, we don't debate our issues in a tribal manner. We debate them in a way where we say, which way is the right path? Where would be benefit for all of us, rather than just one group of people benefiting? As a nation, how can we benefiting? That's the argument we try to deliver. It's not like my tribe is better than yours and your tribe is better than mine, or our tribe is better than theirs. That should not be the debate, especially when we're talking about the well-being of the country. But every time when we try to address those, some of you pushing it to the tribal line, which is you really don't want to find a concrete solution to it. Because now you become a defensive, and the sooner you become defensive, guess what? I am defensive too. And that's why we're destroying that country. And if South Sudan is really that great country, as a young lady like her, who is preaching she's a superior, why are you living outside of the country? Just go in. If everything that is being done there is representing your value, live there. Why are you living somewhere else? And the same thing for those of us who are in the United States, Canada, talking nonsense and all this stuff. Why don't you go? Go to South Sudan. It's your home. You loved it. It has everything that you wish for in life. Go. But obviously you cannot go because you know it's not good. The only thing that you're defensive of is the tribal line. But in terms of the things that are being done, nothing is good. Even within your own community, nothing is good. So now it's based on that young lady word. You can tell that even crime can be judged in a different manners. If you happen to be a Nuer guy, it is likely that you're going to get extreme punishment than if you were to be a Denka guy. That's the system that we're setting. Well, guess what does remind us? It's slavery. Or white people versus black people. Where you try to say, okay, you know what? This is a white guy. Okay, guess what? He's the reason he killed people is because he's mentally ill. But this guy killed people because he's a black guy. When both of them have committed crime, but one of them will be seen as heavier than the others. That's what superior does. So if you're going to come in here as somebody who is in Western world, completely getting all the benefit a low-income family will get, but yet you continue to support what's going on back home there, well, if what you're getting here, you can get it there, why don't you go get it? You get it from there. You're happy, everything is fine. Go live there. But you cannot support the distraction toward other community while you're here, you barely do nothing to yourself. You're hopeless, you cannot afford anything, you have to be assessed by a taxpayer, but yet you support marginalization back home. Just because this is us versus them. When in reality, we're talking about the well-being of the country, whether you're from the west or east or north, it doesn't really matter. The well-being of the country is really what we're speaking about. So for those of you who have platform on Facebook where you talk to, all the time and people view you, try to be an indicator. Don't be a tribalistic. Correct people. told them wrong when they're doing it wrong. But when you support wrongdoing, it is like it's going to happen. And guess what? Those who are getting hurt will continue to get hurt over it, and they would also hate you because you did not. They stood up for what is right. You supported the wrongdoing just simply because you happen to be within the same community as an individual who had done the wrong thing. We continue to advise here, especially those of us in the West. Wouldn't it be nice if we can see our people living peacefully? Do they have to die because they're Nuer? Or do they have to die because they're Denka or because they're Shilluk? For a system that is owned by the people, it's supposed to be, even though it's owned by a group of individuals. But a system, we should all own it, all of us. From the largest tribe to the smallest. Nobody should be treated unfairly just because he happened to be coming from a small community. What kind of humanity is that? And this young lady talking about she cannot date Nuer guy or Equatorial guy. I bet you if she finds a Nuer guy or Equatorial guy who have the same brain as she is, she will go for it. I mean, white people are getting married to Nuer and Denka. Leave alone Nuer and Denka. White people are getting married to Denka. Okay, so what is it? Here's a Nuer guy who happened to be your next door neighbor, but a white guy from Australia. What's the benefit here? You know? You like to be married from a guy from Australia and you don't like to be married to your neighbors? I mean, what kind of idiot are you? You're such a moron. Because when we get married based on love, not because of tribal line. I mean, I can just go and love a white woman and not a black woman. So people get married not in tribal line. People get married because they love each other. They feel comfortable being together for the rest of their life, despite where they come from. It's not how it works. Even when you try to go on a date, you don't just date them because they're Nuer or you date them because they're Denka. No, you date them because you love them. And I bet you this young lady, she's got a Uganda boyfriend. One of the most famous models, she's a Denka and she's married to a Congolese guy. And they even have a kid. What's wrong with that? She fell in love. She loved the man loved her. They're happy. What does the tribe have to do with this? Nothing. Those of us, we had also kids with different racial, from where I come from. Was that an issue? Absolutely not. And my kid now, they're growing up kid where they can do things on their own. But I'm not going to tell them, hey, go hate your uncles. Unless if I'm an evil person. If I'm an evil person, I'll preach sex. But even if I'm an evil person, why doing it in the first place? Right? Keep it to yourself. If your father was such an ignorant like you are, keep it to your family. What does the community have to do with it? I mean, obviously there's some dad who are so tribalistic people where they say, my daughter will never get married to a Nuer guy, or my daughter will never get married to a Denga guy. But who am I to judge such? I'm just a father. But it is the same brainwash where you see like 15 years old say he doesn't like Riek Machar. I was like, what do you know about Riek Machar? You were just fucking born yesterday. What do you know about the SPLA itself? And he was born during the independence, and yet he will talk arrogantly about the SPLA like she know anything about it. But those are the entitlements that we try to say, let's not go with that. Don't teach your kid to be entitled to think that that does not belong to them. South Sudan does not belong to you and your family. nor it belonged to me and my family. It belonged to all of us. We should be separating family issues between federal issues or way of governing. But the entitlement that you guys have built within the Juba itself is really what is destroying all this kid today. And you shall become more hateful than you are as a father. Well, obviously, maybe we can say you're not a civilized father. That's why your child become so blinded. But they have gone to school. They have learned. Some of them are college graduate. What did they learn? If all of that textbook is going to turn into tribal hate, what did they learn then? Oh, they learn only hate. Because whatever you read, if it's not appealing to your heart, it's just nothing. So it stops supporting people based on tribal line. Be a human being at first. Be reasoning. What your family wants is not what the country wants. Because you haven't spoken to anyone. Or even specifically, that's not what your tribe wants. If your father is a hateful guy who hates Nuer, well, maybe the other Denka don't hate Nuer. So in that case, you will be very cautious of what you said and when do you say it. But when you come like arrogantly and just say it, like you own it, it's not good. And that's what we continue to tell this politician. Don't speak like you own the country. You don't own it. It's just a job was given to you, and tomorrow you will lose that job. So there's no point of you being arrogant to something that is belong to the public. Speak arrogantly to what you have within your own household. But when it comes to public issues, don't. Like, I'm not going to speak arrogantly about something belonging to everybody else. But I sure can speak arrogantly about what I have as me and my family. So keep your tribal mind into your tribe and leave federal things to federal things. If you don't want to get married to other outside of your race, so be it. But don't come here and try to mislead people where it's like, oh, this is how we do things. When in reality, that's not how it works. It doesn't work that way. Even with all this war, people still have intermarried. Despite all the wound people have, the grievances people have, people still get married across line. You don't see that? Obviously, if your heart cannot feel it, your eyes, it's not going to see it. So what we see in all this on social media, Nuer getting married to Denka guy getting married to Nuer, we blind our tribal hate. I mean, I know there's some community within the Denka itself who would completely refuse to have their daughter get married to a Nuer guy. But that's not what the girl wants. The girl would wish that he can marry the guy that she loves. Not being forced. Obviously, because people are still being forced to do things, that's why it's a little bit different when it comes to opinions of the girls or the boy itself. I mean, I've been the same thing. My dad, 20 plus years ago, said I should not marry to this, and I was like, no, I will marry. That's my choice. You don't have to. The woman that I'm going to bring is a woman that I'm going to be dealing with, not you. So why would you bring an abusive husband just because your dad is going to be happy with that? Because that's the chances are when they bring you somebody that you don't love, you just, the possibility of you not getting along down the road is very high. Because it was forced against your own will as a woman, and you didn't have any choice. Maybe you ended up being a third or fourth wife. People get married for happiness. Not because, oh, he's a Nuer guy, then I should be happy. I mean, I can marry to a Nuer woman and be miserable. Or I can marry to a Equatorial woman and be miserable as well. Or maybe I'll make that woman miserable. So those are things happening. It has nothing to do with tribe, you know. You're not going to be a good guy because you're a Denka, or because you're a Nuer, or because you're Equatorial. No. You're going to be a good guy because you love your wife. And you're not going to be good to him because he's from your tribe as a woman. So it's the same thing in reverse. We have to create a bond where we say, you know what, I like you, or you like me, and I think we're getting along, and that's how life goes. It's not about tribe. So don't be an idiot and just speak out of arrogance when you don't know anything about touch. And those of you who come in and try to defend this young lady, you guys are stupid. What are you defending? Nothing. Everything she said was completely wrong. Everything she said was just wrong. Despite what we've gone through within the Juba itself, when it comes to the government. We know those things. But those are man-made. Somebody did it. It's not because of who we are or God created us that way. Somebody chose to do it that way. Somebody chose to keep us in war among ourselves. We did not just choose to go fight each other. No. But somebody worked very hard that we continue to hate each other, where we fight and kill ourselves. Like I said last time on the Abiumnum incident, Abiumnum and Bulmayom, they've been married for how many decades? Years, hundreds. They never had such an issue. But until this hate was being planned among themselves, and now they start to see themselves as rivalry. When they used to be one community, and they didn't have any issues. When Abiumnum go to Mayom people go to Abiumnum, no issues. But when somebody manipulate the way of life, and now they start hating each other. And then as an educated person, just like, you should ask why. Why now? What has changed? It's the same community that I know for all my life. Just like I happen to know some of my friends from Ruweng, and those are the guys we went to school together. And we did it from our middle school until we went to high school. But all of a sudden, you know, we start not to get comfortable when we talk about issues. We used to pray together, sing together. We play soccer together, basketball together. No issues. So don't be misleading people. Correct somebody. It's good for themselves, because when they have that hate, especially in the 21st century, when you have such a hate within you, you have no people behind you. Nobody. So you got to be civil so you can get along with everybody else. Okay? And let's just say, you know, even with her arrogant word, if we were to go into a fair election today, do you think her father would be elected based on that tone? Absolutely not. And that's a better reason why we don't have election within that country. Because there's some people who understand that when they go to fair election, they will not win it. They rather maintain it by war than go into election. You know, it's all about power. Why would the people of Akobo elect their own governor? Why would Bantu people elect their own governor? Why isn't Warap electing their own governors? It's all about controlling. So they appointed people that you don't like to govern you. And you know within your heart, if they were to go to campaign, they will not win it. But they're doing it to keep themselves within the power itself. While here you are, you're living miserably. So it's stopping, man. Let's just be sincere and civil when we talk about issues. Wrong is wrong. The young lady, she's completely wrong. And I hope she'd be happy with her Uganda boyfriend. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Uganda boyfriend is not a Danka guy. And then we'll see what life's going to lead her to. But the fact that she's stupid with her word, that's something that we should all say it. Because those of us who are in their 40s, we understand when it comes to marriage or love. I even had an ex-girlfriend from Denka. And I'm an her guy, but that was never an issue in my mind or in her mind. Never. And even me right now talking to you, I can marry to a Denka girl. I can marry to an Equatorian woman. I can fall in love with her. I could marry her. Nothing. Because what I'm looking to, it's how she treated me, not what tribe she come from. So, you know, we go nowhere. The countries belong to all of us, and we all have superior, all of us. Because when you talk about superior, it's when you go and dominate somebody else within their own homes. You know, like you go and you invaded Bantu, you push them all out, now you become the one in charge. That's superior. Or the Nuer go to Warab and just completely dictate everything. That's a superiority. But we're not in that state. And I don't think we would ever get to that state. We have boundaries. Before we even have a country, we have boundaries. And those boundaries, they're still there. So speak like a civil person, not somebody who hate others. And if you listen to her video, it's wrong. Nobody should support that young woman, except her father and her mother. But if you happen to be any citizen of that nation, you should be outrageous with her, with the word that she shows. They're wrong. You cannot say anything that she said out of that conversation was good. Nothing. And then some people went on to say, that she looked like Nuer. What do you mean she looked like Nuer? She even come out herself and say, I'm sorry if what I had say hurt you. I did not mean it. But this is who we are as Denka. And she even reiterate what she had said. She in writing. So you see she's very stupid. She said that's how we are as Denka. And then yet you say somebody framed her she's from another community. Why now though? Why now? Who's the Nuer girl who will go do such a thing, or Shuluk or Equatorial who will go do such a thing just to frame other community? It would not make any sense. But I think she's from us within the Upper Nile region. That's what I thought. When I look at her view, I was like, yeah, she looked like Upper Nile woman. But I could be wrong. Maybe she's from Warab, or maybe she's from Lake State. I don't know. But I don't think she's saying anything that is very positive at all. You know, her rhetoric or her tone remind me of those of quite warm, very arrogant. They speak arrogantly toward others because she feel like she's in power or superior over other people. You know, and it's happened a lot. So the entitlement is really what brought me to this video. People should not feel entitled to South Sudan. They can be entitled to their own household, but not as a South Sudan as a whole. It's wrong, it's outrageous, and no system should support such at all. It's a hate. It's a hateful word when you try to say that we are the best, we are the superior, whether because of your look, whether because you happen to be in power, whether because you a Denka, but what will make you a superior just because you're Denka? Oh, she's from my area. Okay. That's what I thought you were when. I thought she's from us in Upper Nile. That's what I thought. Because the people of Bahr el Ghazal, they don't have such of behaviors, especially those of Will and Ngok, even Lake State. If I would see maybe a little bit from Twitch, but not much. But I associate with those three community in the Bahar Ghazal region, and I know their behaviors. And it has nothing to do with tribal line, but completely different things. you know, uh, but nothing. I have never seen anything in terms of tribal from those community at all. But from Jungwale, I have seen it, and I absorbed it. I heard it, and and even the way she looked, I was like, I just picture her. I was like, she looked from us, because a will person, a will lady would never say that unless if they're not from a will really, or even Lake State. I don't see it, including Warap, especially when it comes to intermarried. I don't see it. Maybe nowadays, but back in our days, I never see it. You can date any girl from any of those regions. As a new guy, you have no issues. you know, uh, and people never view you as a new. They view you as somebody good-looking guy. They like you, and that's it. So, and it's up to you how you sweet talk her, and that's it. It was never about tribal issues. Absolutely not. And where we grew up, we have a lot of dominant female from the Barghazal area, comparing to the Nuer people in that area that we were living in. And we were living just fine. We did not have any issues. So, but anyways, I just want to say that she's ignorant, and I blame her father. I think her father is an evil man. Because otherwise, because your kid come to who you are as a father. For your kid to be respectful, it has to do on how you bring them up. If you don't bring them up in the right way, they will not be respectful. Like in my kid, I can trust all of them that nothing racially they would ever say to anybody. Can they disagree with other people's opinion? Absolutely. So do I as a father. I disagree with other people. But hate, no. Even when they were still young, every time when they say, I hate you, I was like, you cannot use hate. It's a very strong word. And that's how you correct some bad behavior from the young age. And then by the time they grow up, they understand it. So your kid represent your behaviors as a father or mother. And because we raised them. And if we raise them good enough to fit in the society, they will fit. And if we raise them in a way that they cannot fit in the society, they will not fit. Like this young woman. I don't think she fit within the society itself. And that's because how her father or mother raised her. She have no respect for others. She disregard other community, and which is really the biggest issues. You cannot disregard other communities. You just can't. Or you cannot just frame them as people who have some behaviors, referring to the Equatorial have behaviors or manners. What manners does Equatorial have? They're human just like the rest of us. And then the war between the Denka and Nuer. When was the last time the Nuer and the Denka went to war? Never. The Nuer and the Denka, they never went to war among themselves. But you have those who are neighbors, they fight. The cattle raid. It's not Nuer versus Denka, it's neighboring. You go to your neighbor, you loot them, and then they come and they loot you, and that's how it works. It has nothing to do with Nuer versus Denka. No, it was neighbors looting each other's. And that's really what it is. Which is very simple thing. You can put an end to it by having an institution that oversees the well-being of both nations. Mayom don't go to Warap don't go to Mayom, Panyinja don't go to Lake don't go to Panyinja, and then put a law. And then that problem was solved. But if you're going to steal them in Lake State and then you come and sell them in Panyinjar, and then you steal them from Panyinjar and then you go sell them in Lake State, who's supporting that idea? The government is. I agree. A lot of it started within the border area, and that's why you can see sometimes within those of Uncle McQuay Tone and those of Kwame Young Tone and those of late Abiola Lair, those, those, their tone was not good. They're tribalistic. That you can hurt the entire community just because you don't like one person. Just like their problem is, they want a guy called Image should not be in any public office at all. But that thing is power controlling. As much as people see it as a hate, no, it's a power controlling. Because when somebody else come over to take the power, and then they'll be out of power. And that's really what they're maintaining. They're maintaining their power. Just like happened in 72, where they maintained their powers not to go to anybody else. And then Garang did the same thing in 84. So it's always about power. As much as they try to put it behind tribe line, it's a power. I think Correa said it perfectly. These people, they want to maintain power, and then in order for them to do it, they have to put a tribal behind it to say, oh, they're going to take our food when it's their food. It's their office. It's not benefiting the rest of us. And then by that time, they will be fighting each other, and then they're living just fine. Just like they live in Juba now, they're happily. And those soldiers are suffering in Upper Nile or in Bantu, absolutely have nothing beside the flag of South Sudan in them. They don't even have money in their pocket. But those are the misleading part. And the reason you create such a misleading is you have to put hate among communities. So in order for the war in Upper Nile to maintain or to be there, you would have to make sure that it's Nuer versus Denka, or it's Denka versus Nuer. And then when you put it that way, even the person who have absolutely nothing will sacrifice their life. And that's what happened. People coming from Mawil, people coming from Warab, Lake State, to go to fight in Upper Nile, just to defend the Denka. But the country does not belong to Denka. The country does not belong to Nuer. It belongs to all of us. So why are you dying for something that can be a transition? We should learn from the slavery by now. That when you try to maintain something that is so hurtful, it will not go for too long. Or even just like the French colonization to the West Africa. It's coming to an end now, right? After many years. Because the West Africa say, you know what, enough is enough. We don't need you here. And they push French out. French, a very powerful country with all the tools. They could have resisted, but no. You cannot push somebody out of their home. It's easy for them to push you out with all the things that you have. When we went in Iraq, we had problems because we were fighting Iraqi within their own home. It was not easy. With all the gear we have, it was not easy. Because it's their home. They understand it better. We don't. And that's why this young Denka are being sent to die in Upper Nile for no reason. I mean, you can literally die because you do not have any water in Upper Nile. You could. Just like what happened in Nasser. A lot of young soldiers, they died because of thirst, lack of food. They were not killed by white army. It's just the thirst and hunger killed them because they don't know where they're going after they've been defeated. But it's just those kind of things where the humanities come about, where you say, you know what, for what? Why are we doing all this? What's the benefit? We're not going to live forever. It's more time being. Even aging will kill you. If you're not dying from being shot, aging will kill you. And all the things that you acquire, you're not going to take it with you. Just like we see now, aging is really targeting kids. Despite how many kids has lost their life over the years. But he's battling his own way of life. So whatever you do in life, it will never last you forever. If they did not curse you, the aging as a human being will get you. It happened to Robert Mugabe. Now it's happening to Yoweri Museveni. Aging is getting him, despite that he controlled that system. But the aging is getting into his pants. But and then the end would always be miserable. It will be very sad. Because you force something that citizens do not want. So anyways, I spoke so much. Sorry, I just want to come in for a short time, but I ended up talking more. I just want to say the young lady was wrong. She was uninformed. She was uninformed when it comes to intermarriage among communities. And like I said, her stepmom, she's from Equatoria or probably from Nuer. If we go to search her background, we will find that out, or from Shilluk. So she's got a stepmom from other community, not Denka. And then the arrogant part, the system is what's supporting her arrogant. Because you're not going to feel like Kwame is less than her just because I happen to be a Nuer guy. That's wrong. It's wrong, okay? Even though, I mean, I'm okay, I got a job, I make good money without going fighting or shooting guns or being stressed. I just get up in the morning, go show up at work, and then get paid at the end of the week, which is decent for my life. But that should not make her over me or me over her. No. And to ignorance who are in the Western world, if you think what is happening within Juba is a good thing, move. You know, go back there. Go live there. You like it, go. But don't come here and lie that our country is great. President is doing a good job. I'm telling you, when you go there, the food system that you're getting here, you will not get it. The Medicaid you're getting, you will not get it. Even the Juba Tech Hospital, people die inside waiting to be seen, which is one of the worst things ever. Even in Khartoum, we did not have that, where you can just die waiting for a doctor to see you. And you think that's a good life? I'm sure you guys see the latrine or the bathroom. I was like, if I went into that room with malaria, there is no way I'm coming out breathing. Absolutely not. So I'm basically went in and executed myself. Because the environment is not a hospital environment. It's just bad. It can make your disease even progressing more than it. You come in and half. By the time you get in there, you're going to be hitting 80 and 90 with severity. And then you think that's a good thing? With a country with everything that we have, the oil money, the mineral, you can literally pay somebody to build everything for you. Like Omar al-Bashir did with the oil money. Omar al-Bashir, he built Khartoum with oil money. You just give somebody who is builder, you give them the oil, they build it for you. Just like they did it. The Juba airport was built by the Chinese, right? We didn't pay out front. It was in exchange for an oil. So why can you do the same thing? Obviously they don't, because they want to make citizens live miserably. They don't want you to be comfortable, because if you become comfortable, and then you're going to see their bad behaviors. You're going to see the bad thing they're doing. But when they keep you poor as you are, you're not going to see what is bad and good. Lack of a school, you know. If you live in good, you can say, well, why we don't have a school here? We should have a school here. But they don't want all those things. They rather keep you at war, so you're not going to see who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. Just like right now, is we only see the Denka and Nuer and Equatoria. We don't see the issues that we should be asking our citizens. We don't see it. Because we're busy about some stupid things. We're busy about the Nuer want to take the government of Denka, or the Equatorial want to push the Jenge out. That's all we focus on. We don't focus about the basic necessity of the human, or of citizen. like food and shelter. I mean, before we're independent, we used to live just fine because we farm, we have cows. Nobody's stealing our cow to go sell it to Ugandese. Nobody. So we have cows, we have goats. We have farm that is running yearly. We preserve food. But now, how are you going to preserve food when the better system that called government is going to come and chase you out? Like what happened in Bantu now, or what is happening right now in Ankoba. Those people, for them to settle, is going to take time. And that's why you see those people of Unity State, they don't want to go back to Unity State because they know there's nothing there. And for them to start, it's going to be from the scratch. You cannot just show up today and say, you know what, I'm going to harvest my farm here. The cow that you used to have, they're no longer there. The farm that you have is completely turned into a forest. Where do you start? I mean, those are issues. And that's why they don't want to go back. They're all just saying in Unimus. And this leader, they're okay with that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't bother them because they still have their jobs. So let tribal, don't let tribal take over your brain. We're human and we have right to exist regardless of our tribe. And we should not be focusing on tribal line at this state or this era. Absolutely not. If I'm not going to respect you because I'm a human, and you think I'm going to respect you because I'm a Nuer guy, it's not going to happen. I will respect you because I'm Kwan and I respect you. That's how respect should be. Not because of the community that I come from. No. We're not going to respect you all as a community, but some of us will respect you. Some of us will get along with you, some of us will not get along with you. That's life. The entire Nuer cannot love the entire Dinka. The entire Dinka cannot love the entire Equatoria. Or the entire Shula can love the Maban. It's not going to happen. But there was some group that will get along just fine. Just like I had with my colleague who happened to be from a different community. Some of us we get along, some of us we don't get along. But it has nothing to do with our tribe. It just, something just did not match. So that's the civil way we need to think when it comes to issues within our nation. We should not see them in the tribal line. We see them in like what makes sense, what is right, rather than just say, "Oh, he said that because he's a Nuer guy." Why can you just say I say that because I'm Kwan and I see it that way? You know. Why can you just love me because I'm a good-looking guy? Why do you have to love me because I'm a Nuer guy? Because being a Nuer will not change what I said. Being a Nuer is not going to hold me from abusing you or from abusing you. Absolutely not. It's your behaviors and my behavior is what's going to make both of us live happily married life.